Last time, Erin went missing for a month, but one night Richard found her on the roof of the dormitory. When he reached out to her, he found that she had wounds and bruises on her body. He wanted to help her, but she told him that she didn't need his help. Next, Stephen comes there and Erin runs away. He introduces himself to Richard and was looking forward to meeting him. Didn't expect to run into him like this. However, Richard is in a bad mood, so he just leaves saying, "I am not in the mood right now." Looks like that hurt. Stephen's feeling a little, and he is sure that someday Richard will be desperate to know his name. Richard is furious after seeing the wounds and bruises on Erin's body. He wants to know who hurt her. His shadow energy starts to leak. He punches a wall or a tree and make a hole in it. Gets ready to make sure that he will find that bastard no matter what. Next, he is in the library, thinking about who could it be. He saw her, came down from the student dormitory. He is sure that the person who hurt her is in the campus right under his nose. He comes to Popovich to ask for a permission to give him a pass for Sunset Lane to do some research and collect data. But there is no way that Popovich will give him that pass because that's a lawless place filled with darkness and dirty deals, and always been an area supervised by their deep blue. But Richard informs him that he needs to go there, asks him to believe him, and that it's a very important matter to him. And the only help he can think of is Popovich. Seeing him so desperate, Popovich informs him that he indeed has the right to receive Popovich's service as the student of the legendary mage. But Popovich also promised the legendary mage that he must ensure Richard's safety as Her Highness's students within the academy. But as a friend, Popovich gives him advice that his new teacher, Grand Painter, is very familiar with the forces in Sunset Lane, and their mutual dealings are very close. Richard thanks him and gets ready to think of a way to approach the teacher, Grand Painter. Before he leaves, Popovich informs him that he should not forget that in Deep Blue, anything beyond regulation is not allowed. Even students of the legendary mage are no exception. Everything is within her grasp. Now Richard is thinking of a way. A key to connecting with Grand Painter is to make the most sincere artwork. Next, the art class is over, and Grand Painter is tired teaching bunch of fools who don't understand what art is at all. He is only doing this job because he is in a huge debt from the bet with Her Highness, that is, Sue Helen. His eyes hurt, looking at the painting of his students. Whoa, this one looks good. However, for a Grand Painter like him, he feels dizzy looking at those paintings. Then, one painting catches his eyes. It's Richard's painting. And this painting, he can't help but just admire it. So he calls Richard and gets ready to make a deal so he can keep that painting in his collection. He is mesmerized by the painting. The warm light crushed into waves of grass, gold powder coating her hair, white shirt soaked in soft spots of light, fingertips trembling with the breath of spring. The spreading colors are hazy poem, shadows wrapped in gentle velvet. The silhouette harvested within the hazy light expresses the girl's quiet, sorrowful beauty. He really wants this painting in his collection, but he is surprised to hear that Richard wants a letter of introduction for Sunset Lane. He is confused if Richard is in his right mind, and does he know what kind of business happens in the Sunset Lane? Richard tells him not to worry, and he is ready to bear all consequences. And he also knows that Grand Painter painting dealing is just the book cover of what he does, using art pieces as a carrier to secretly trade rune magic blueprints, which the Academy strictly forbids from being shared externally, leading them to being sold in Sunset Lane. Grand Painter is shocked and scared at the same time. He yells that what Richard's saying is nonsense. There is absolutely no such thing. There is no way he could possibly smuggle and trade something this is explicitly prohibited. His reaction made it all clear that Richard's intelligence was correct, and he caught the Grand Painter's handle now. Richard is sure that the Grand Painter knows that he is the student of the legendary mage, but the reason he could become one was because of his family, the Accomande family. Grand Painter is shocked, because if he is from the Accomande family, the one skilled in gathering intelligence everywhere, he gets ready to immediately have an acquaintance take Richard into Sunset Lane. But not only the permit Richard wants more from him, he wants Grand Painter to use his familiar connections in Sunset Lane to help him find a mentor who can teach him killing skills. Next, 2 days later, Richard comes to the Sunset Lane through teleportation array, and there is an old man waiting for him, and is surprised to see Richard's guts to come to Sunset Lane alone. At night, they come to the dark alley where all kinds of crimes happen. They arrive in their destination, and his new mentor is there waiting for him. He is Assassin. Naya didn't expect a kid to actually come to learn killing skills that can bypass the Academy's magic surveillance. He didn't expect the kid to be such a ruthless character. 1 month has passed, and Richard has been come there frequently to learn killing skills. People there started to notice and know him, that he is Naya's kid. That same night, they have brought the newly smuggled goods, and among the goods, his painting is also there. Next, Richard learns some technique. G pays the fee for that night's training. Naya is surprised that it's already been 7th training session this month, and he comes there alone at night every time. Wonder if Richard is not scared that one day Naya be in a bad mood and just kill him, because he is not the kind of pushover who is willing to work extra just because he took money. But killing Richard? There is no benefit for Naya. Richard only brings the good for each training session. So Richard is sure that Naya will not kill him for measly 100 gold coins. Teaching him will be more beneficial for Naya. Well, as a professional assassin, he also deeply understands a principle. But sometimes they just can't work for money. More often, it's for the sake of insurance. And he already investigated that Richard is the student of the famous dictator, the Deep Blue Sue Helen, and rules of Deep Blue State that recklessly using magic that harms others within campus is not permitted. That is why Richard is there to learn the killing techniques. Naya is now interested to know who did Richard form such a grudge that he is ready to develop killing intent. Well, that he also doesn't know yet, and learning from Naya will allow him to find that person. Coming to learn killing techniques is one aspect, according to his investigation and understanding. Professional assassins trained by a mercenary killer organization in the past would all utilize a unique type of rune magic called detection. Grand Painter was shocked to know that Richard wanted an assassin mentor who understands rune magic detection. Richard is sure that Grand Painter, who has been to so many places, and not only places but important places, where royals and noble goes, he is sure that Grand Painter must have seen many famous rune master and know their stories. Regrading what rune detection is, he definitely understands it better than Richard does. The rune master hailed in the magic world as creators of miracles. It is the reason for the existence of legendary professions. But on the other side, for rulers, rune masters, and their rune magic can also form a lethal threat to a country and great nobles. If used improperly, they can also become the destroyer of the nations. Therefore, in the magic world, rune master factions have also split into different forces. Grand Painter is shocked to hear all of that. He didn't expect this kid to have such an intelligence. There is no room to hide anything from him. So, Grand Painter also starts to give him info about Rune Master and the potential they have, and that different armed forces have now evolved in the magic world with the Rune Master profession as the core, the sharpest weapon used in war, and among them has already become the highest symbol of military force, representing each faction. Anyways, he also informs him about those responsible for assassination and cleanup in wars, and they similarly possess power evolved from Rune Master, and the detection he wants to learn comes from the techniques of this organization. He gets ready to introduce that anonymous assassin to be his mentor, and his name is Disaster Blade, the former code name of Assassin Naya, and he also knows that there is a huge bounty on Naya's head, so he wonders what will happen if he leaks the intel to the officials. Naya is surprised to see that the brat he took in to teach assassination is really extraordinary. He makes Naya appreciate him more and more. Richard gets ready to pay him 500 gold from now on and prioritize learning the rune detection. But too bad for him, Naya informs him that he withdrew from the organization long ago, and without rune combination granted by a professional rune master and creature fur as a medium base, it won't work. Richard tells him not to worry and that he will soon become a rune master. 1 month later, he is making that detection rune magic array. A maid has come to serve him food, but he hasn't opened his door and has been locking himself in afternoon for the past month. Sister also heard that he's been sneaking away every night from the dormitory and also skipping his classes. And a while ago, he borrowed a large amount of money from her. The old him would never deign to use the family wealth. Wonder if that kid has become a gambler. He then comes outside shouting, "It's a success." He then tells his sister to bring over the clothes Aaron has worn the past month. He's been constantly attempting various rune ratios on original diagram. Construction detection has been replicated by him by extracting the scent of the target to be detected. Then using detection, the scent can be materialized and concentrated into a warning rune. And whenever a person or object tainted with the scent of detected target appears, the rune will trigger an alarm. It's just a pity that the quality of the beast skin serving as the rune medium is truly limited, and the replicated detection can only exert about 50% of the effect. To improve the effect, one must obtain high-grade beast skins controlled by the Academy specifically for use by rune masters as a medium. Then the only way is to officially become a rune master. So he comes to Popovich, recommend him for the rune master exam. Popovich wants him to learn more in the classroom, but all the magic they teach in the classroom, he has mastered them all. Seeing his determination, Popovich gets ready to recommend him to Grand Magister Phil, letting Richard also participate in this month's registration review. Grand Magister Phil is one of the few most outstanding rune master in the Deep Blue. And to become his student, one must pass his test. No exception even to the student of the legendary mage. And one must also construct an introductory rune magic array to deal with the assessment. And he has already completed the introductory rune magic array. Next, he has come for the registration. Many students apply for this exam a couple of times and failed couple of times. He hands his introductory rune magic diagram in the registration desk. Popovich also informs Sue Helen about Richard preparing for the rune master, and she informs Popovich that everything is under control. Then suddenly the alarm rings. It's his detection magic. Among the diagrams for the registration, there it has Aaron's scent in it, and it's from the diagrams of Stephen. If she is with Stephen, then my dirty mind can't help but think that he must have already done so many things to her. 2 days later, the results are out. Many have failed. The registration desk call out Richard's name. Second year, level 2, magic. Everyone is surprised to see a level 2 also there to take the exam, then notices that he is the student of the legendary mage, and Richard has passed the test and has been called to the building 3 of Rune Teaching Classroom. There are 2 more students who passed the test, and it's Stephen and Minnie. They are surprised to see Richard in there. Richard remembers that guy from that night. Richard apologizes to him for being impolite that night. He also apologizes to Richard for troubling him when he was at troubled time. Minnie greets him. He knows Minnie, the one who helped him in his last fight. The Grand Magister Phil also arrives after that, and looking at those 3 kids, he happy that Her Highness's eye is indeed not wrong to choose those kids as her student. He informs him that only 3 of them passed the test. This surprises Richard, and seeing his surprise like that, Grand Magister Phil is sure that he must be the youngest student, Richard. And this is the highest number of students he has selected in the last 10 years. If it's just 3 of them, Richard wonders if that Stevenson guy with Aaron's scent must have failed. Then he gets shocked when Grand Magister Phil informs him that all 3 of them are the students of legendary mage. If that's the case, that means this guy Stephen then properly introduces himself, and that his name is Stevenson, the youngest son of the Solam family. Now all the dots have connected. Only the students of the legendary mage have the privilege to enter and exit the dormitory late at night. This guy is the one who hurt Aaron. Now he is boiling with anger. Grand Magister tells them to come with him. He needs to critique the primary rune crafting they submitted. Richard clenches his fist. He is confused about what to do. He is still not sure, wonders if he should make a move. He has many moves he can use right now. Naya taught him well. Like this soul wire spike kill, this is Naya's self-created shadow threads, invisible to the naked eye to instantly bind the enemy's movement, paired with highly toxic hidden needle for assassination. Even if it doesn't hit the vital point, the poison effect is enough to kill the target. Everything prepared for this move does not belong to the category of a magic, so even if used in deep blue, it won't be detected. The killing intent and shadow energy are released from his body, with the needles in his fist. Stevenson suddenly feels a chill down his spine. The dark energy and killing intent coming from behind, his dragon trait gets activated from Richard's killing intent. Noticing this danger, he asks Minnie to announce that matter. There she is, confused. Minnie comes to Grand Magister Phil apologizing for disturbing him, but she has something to announce. And she announces that she, Minnie representing the Nio family, have reached a marriage agreement with Stevenson of the Solam family, and she invites Grand Magister Phil to attend their engagement ceremony in the future. They also invites Richard, their fellow student, under the legendary mage. Stevenson is happy and honored that Minnie will be his future wife. He hopes that they all can come and share in his joy. Richard is shocked and mad at the same time, thinking he almost made a huge mistake. Those two nobles are engaged with their status. They wouldn't be the one who hurt Aaron, right? Hurting a person of low status? For a noble like them, he has no reason to. He starts to doubt his own magic rune, thinking that it's not 100% perfect, and it is not ringing that alarm right now. Now they are done? Grand Magister Phil informs him that even though they are extraordinary, but to him, judging from their rune crafting test assignments, they are all just at the beginner level. And one of their tests is significantly better than the others. Even though they are the students of Her Highness, their aptitude levels vary. They want to know who did better, especially Stevenson. Grand Magister Phil gets ready to do that with an experiment, a biological teaching experiment. They come to the experimental ground, and first they test Minnie's rune magic array on the test subject, and ran for 5 laps, and it finished it in 10 minutes. The improvement of her agility array is 20%. The test subject usually takes 12 minutes. Richard is shocked to see the test subject. The so-called test subject is a centaur. The Grand Magister Phil brought them there to let them understand the essence of rune magic most intuitively. This is exactly the purpose of bringing them to his experimental grounds this time. The centaur species creatures that he bred are the test subjects for scoring their rune crafting assignments in this test. Minnie can't believe that she scored the least among them, even though she used the precious spirit fox pelts as a medium. Now, it's time for Stevenson and Richard. Stevenson tells her not to worry, and that he used a top-grade dragon skin to complete the test assignment. He is sure that he will get the first place. On the other hand, Richard is still thinking about the detection magic. They uses Stevenson rune magic this time on the centaur. Grand Magister Phil informs them that the experimental centaurs, for the 3 of them, have all been pre-screened without any buffs. Their usual time for 5 laps around the track is 12 minutes. So there will be no unfair testing. And thank you guys for watching.